The power of a background cannot be overemphasized. The background helps to create contrast with other design elements on the foreground, thereby making other design elements on the foreground more visible on the design project. Hello guys, welcome to my channel, welcome to YJ Digital World. I am your host Agu Joseph. So on today's tutorial precisely, I'll be guiding you through on how to successfully achieve a party flyer using Photoshop 2023. If you're interested in this type of content, do well to smash the subscribe button. If you are new to the channel, okay, smash the subscribe button, turn on the post notification to get notification whenever I upload new content. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always watching. Please don't forget to give this video a like. So first thing first, you have to create the Canva workspace for this project. So for we to do this, you have to hit Ctrl N on the keyboard and the new document panel comes up. So precisely this project will be used on social media platforms and other web platforms precisely. So here are the parameters I'm using for this project. The unit of measurement is in pixels precisely. So the unit is in pixels, the width 1080 by 1350, resolution remains on 300, and the color mode remains on RGB precisely. So after that, you click on the OK. So here we have my Canva workspace on which the project will be carried out on. Okay, over here on my layers, here are the exercise files that make up the design composition for this project precisely. So over here, I have here are the shades of colors I'll be using for this project, and here are the hex code precisely. So the first phase of this design has to do with creating of the background. Okay, so here I have to turn on my colors that I'll be using over here, place them at the top here. So first and first, I have to create a solid fill background over here. Come to the adjustment panel, slide over to the solid fill, and sample this color precisely, and you click on the OK. So after we are done with the fill color, I need to place all my design composition properly. So I'll come over here by dragging these two images down here this way, enable them. Okay, pick my move to adjust the position of this. So I'll be placing this way. Okay, that is for the speakers. So for this other image precisely, so hit Ctrl T to transform this and scale it out properly. Okay, Ctrl minus to zoom out and hold this way. Okay, so after you are done with that, you check the fit back to screen. Okay, that's for that. So that's for this particular layer. So on this other end, I also have to scale up this by hitting Ctrl T and positioning this way on my project. So I will check. Okay, that's for that. Okay, I've transformed this and this is good. Okay, for this is also good. So let's move to the phase that has to do with blending of the design composition with the solid fill precisely. So I'll come over here to where I have the two speaker images. So I'll select them. Okay, come over here, change the blending mode. Okay, by doing this, okay, after you're done with that, you scale down your opacity. Okay, so after you're done with scaling down the opacity, we'll come over here, enable this. Okay, and also have to change the blending mode for this too. Okay, after you're done with that, add the vector marks to this. Okay, come over here, pick your brush. Okay, right click, make sure you're working with the soft-round brush. Control the strength of your flows and opacity. Make sure your foreground color is set on black. The black enables you to take out what is hidden, what is on the white mask layer precisely. So you can choose to scale down the size of your brush using the open and close bracket key beside your P button on your keyboard. So you come over here and you can choose to just take it out this way on the project. Take it out. Okay, that's for that. So after you're done with that, you can come over here where you have the layer, make sure the layer is selected. To come over to filter, blur, Gaussian blur precisely. On the Gaussian blur, okay, I think this is working perfectly well for this. Okay, so after we are done with that, we'll move to the next, which is this. Okay, move to where we have this precisely. Change the blending mode for this to, I think this is actually working perfectly well for this project. Okay, after we are done with that, we also need to blur out some of the pixels for this background image. Filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Okay, so we'll scale up the blur radius. I think this is good this way. So we are done with this particular layer. So we'll move to the next that has to do with creating a fill contrast. Okay, I noticed that this is too bright, so I'll come over here where I have this light, add a curve adjustment layer to this. Okay, and adjust the highlights. Okay, that's for that. So we are done with this particular set of layers. So I noticed that my background is so flat. Okay, so I'll come over here, hit Ctrl+Shift+N to create a new layer, call this noise, set this on soft light, enable the 50% gray option, right click and convert it to a smart object. Come to your filter here, noise, add noise. Okay, we'll scale down the noise, the amount of noise precisely, and click on OK. We don't need it to be too heavy on this project. So we can come over here and reposition this noise to around somewhere here. Aha. Okay, this is actually looking nice. So I'll come over here, select this layer. Okay, we have this, and hold Shift to select this other layer. Hit Ctrl+G to group it and call this BG, which stands for my background precisely. Okay, BG stands for my background. So after I'm done with that, we move to the next element, okay, which is the speaker icon. Okay, the speaker image precisely. So on this speaker image here, I need to add a feel of life to this project. So I'll hold Alt to make a duplicate of this particular layer. Hold Alt, left click and drag out this way. Okay, after you're done with that, hold Alt in between these two layers. We have the speaker icon and this. Hold Alt, you notice your mouse pointer changes to this. All you have to do is to left click to create a clipping mask precisely. Okay, so after we are done with that, we'll have to go over to the adjustment panel here of this filter. Double click on this and adjust the radius. Okay, we adjust the radius to about, let me see, I don't need it to be too heavy on this project. Let me scale down a little. Okay, this is okay. So I'll come over here and reduce the opacity for this. So I'll scale down the opacity. Okay, that's for that. Okay, it's actually coming to life. So we are done with this particular area. So I still need to create a fill on this and as well as my background. So I'll come over here, create a new layer, hold Alt, clip it, clip mask. You notice my mouse pointer changes to this in between the two layers. So left click to create a clipping mask. Pick your brush, start picking your brush. Okay, you can scale up the size of your brush. Okay, so for this foreground, I'll be using this color precisely. This is the hex code for the color I'll be using over here. So all I have to do is to come over here, left click this way. Okay, after I'm done with that, I'll change the blending mode to overlay. Okay, that's for that. So behind the speaker, I also need to add a new layer behind it. Okay, so I've added a new layer. I'll come over here, change my foreground color to this precisely. Here is the hex code for the color I'm using for this. Okay, please take note that the flows and opacity are set on 100, please. Okay, so I'll just come over here and apply this effect to my background, that is to the background. Okay, thereby creating contrast between what is on the background and what is on the foreground. Okay, so that's for this. So after we are done with this, select the two layers and select the layers. Select the first layer, hold shift, select the last layer, hit Ctrl G and call this speaker. Okay, that's for that precisely. So I choose to still come over here, enable this and change this to screen precisely. Add the max, pick your brush, scale down the size of your brush using the open and close bracket key beside your P button, and make sure your foreground is set on black so that you'll be able to brush out what is on the white marks. So you brush out this way. Okay, that's for that. So I can choose to take this into my background layers. Okay, into the background groups rather. That's for that. So we are good to go. So come over here where I have this speaker. I'll enable this, add a vector mask to this. After applying the vector mask to this, come over here, make sure your gradient is set on the basic black and white precisely. Okay, and this is set on linear. Okay, so you just come over here and make a selection of this nature. You need to just fade out a little portion of the speaker. Okay, I think this is actually looking nice. So next we'll move to the next phase of the design project that has to do with placing of the text. Okay, so I'll come over here. First thing first, so I have to set the guides for this project. Okay, I think these are the parameters I'm using to set mine. Okay, I'll click on the OK button. So after I'm done with that, I'll enable the text layer, pick my move tool, okay, and adjust this way. So over here, I'll come over here and lock these layers. I don't need to disrupt it. I don't need it to interfere with the whole design process. Okay, so over here, pick my text tool, copy out this set of text, come over here, pick my text tool, left click and paste in this set of text. So for this, I'll be using the Montserrat. For this particular set of text, I'll be making use of the Montserrat precisely. Okay, for this, I'll be changing this to, this is set on extra bold. Why this? I'll scale this down to regular. That is the present text. I'll change it to regular. Okay, so I'll check here, come over here, enable the color shades. Okay, select this, come to your colors over here and change this to this. Okay, that's for that. Hit Ctrl T, scale down the size. Okay, Ctrl A, pick your move to align this horizontally. Ctrl D, you can choose to adjust the position this way. Okay, that's for that. So next has to do with the theme of the event. The theme of the event. Need to work on the theme of the event. So for this, I'll come over here, copy out the text. Okay, so this for the theme. So for the theme over here, I'll pick my text to left click and paste in this text over here. So the font I'll be using for this, I'll be using the Devant font, not the Montserrat this time around. Okay, so I'll hit Ctrl T to transform and scale it up, make it visible. So I'll adjust the space between text. Okay, -20 is good for the trackings. Okay, that's for that. So hit Ctrl T, transform this out properly. So scale this down, position this around here. Ctrl A, pick your move tool and align this horizontally. Deselect. Okay. So after transforming the text, we come over here to the character panel and change the fill color to this precisely. Okay. Here is the hex code for the color I'm using. Okay. So after I'm done with that, we'll have to double click on the layer. The layer styles comes up. So first thing first, we have to work on the gradient overlay. And the gradient overlay, you set this on normal. You scale up, you scale down the opacity. Okay, for this I've already created a preset of color I'll be using for this project. Over here, here is the hex code of the color I'm using, while on this other end, here is the hex code of the color I'm actually using for this project. So after that, click on OK. So after you're done with that, you come over here to the linear, make sure it sets, the style is set on linear precisely. So come over here, we change the angle to about, we set this to about -64 precisely. So after we are done with that, also have to scale down this scale to about 60. Okay, and enable the reverse option. Okay, after you are done with that, come to your drop down shadows. On your drop down shadows, this is set on multiply, opacity should be set on 35, angle on 90, distance should be scaled down a little. Okay, then the spread should go up a little. Likewise this size. Okay, so for this I'll be setting this on Gaussian, that is the name of the contour. That's for that. So after we are done with that, we move to the bevels and emboss. On this, change this to this. Okay, change this to out. There, chisel soft up is selected, so the depth should be scaled up precisely to 1000. Okay, so after doing that, we'll come over here to the size. We'll scale down the size to about, let me say, 4. Okay, then the soften, we have to soften this to about 10 pixels is okay for this. Okay, so after doing this, we'll set this on 90, this on 30. So the use global colors should be checked. We change the contour to Gaussian as well. Okay, the fill color is set on white, and this should be set on about 31%. Okay, this is set on multiply, and I'll paste in this hex code for this over here, or I can choose to sample from here precisely. So I'll check. Okay, after doing that, come over here and scale this up to about I think this is okay this way. So after we are done with that, we'll slide over here and click on OK. That's for this. So after we are done with this, all we have to do is to make a duplicate of this layer by hitting Ctrl J. Okay, so on the new copy, we'll take it down here this way, pick the move tool and adjust the position. Okay, so adjust the position by this way, creating that feel of a 3D feel for this project. Okay, that's for that. So you can still choose to select both layers, Ctrl T, and still increase the size of the font. Okay, that is for this. So next, we'll come over here, pick our text tool, left click and type the word dues. For this, I'll be changing the font to autograph. Okay, so I'll be sampling a color from here. This is the color I'll be using for this. Ctrl T, transform and scale this up and position it somewhere around here this way. So you check, okay, and still scale it up. this way. Check, Ctrl A, pick your move tool, Ctrl A, pick your move tool and align this to the middle, deselect. Okay, that's for that. So I can fill to create a fill of contrast between the Amazon text and this text. So I'll hit Ctrl J to make a duplicate of the layer. Take this layer beneath this way. Okay, for this I'll change the fill to black. After I've done changing that to black, come over here to the filter, blur and Gaussian blur precisely, and still choose to convert it to a smart object and adjust the blur radius. Okay, so about, let me see, we should be okay. This is good. After doing that, you can choose to scale down this to about 25. The opacity should be scaled down so that it shouldn't be too strong on the project too. This is before, this is after. Okay, so after we are done with that, we have to place other information for this project. So guys, from here I'll be fast forwarding a little bit. Okay, so over here for the dates, the price of the tickets and the venue, I used the Devant text, while other set of information I used the Montserrat fonts for them as well. Okay, so guys, we have come to the end of today's tutorial. Okay, if you do enjoy this content, do well to give this video a like. If you are new to the channel, do well to smash the subscribe button, turn on the post notification to get notification whenever I upload new content. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always watching. And if you are able to achieve any design project with the help of any of my tutorial, do well to tag me on your socials whenever you're posting them on your social media platforms, be it Facebook, Instagram and the rest of them. Okay guys, don't forget to join the Telegram group at YJ Digital World. Okay, thank you guys for watching.